Hello, welcome to Water Sea Talks. My name is Tokes. So today's video obviously has a very different background, but I had something on my mind I wanted to discuss today, which is don't overcomplicate purpose, because I see the writing all over the place. What is your purpose? How to meet your purpose? How to know your purpose? How to get to your purpose? It's a bit simpler in my mind. Join me. Let's dive in. Okay, so purpose. What does it mean to have a purpose? So girls, let me explain that for every person born, there is a purpose for them being born. And I understand that some of my foundation and analogy is not something that everybody out there would agree with. But remember, this is my foundation, this is my analogy. This is the way that I have been brought up, this is the way that I am reasoning. And so bear with me, like I always say. So for every child that has been born, there is a purpose. For every girl, for every boy, for every person on this earth, there is a purpose. So you weren't conceived or born by mistake. You weren't created just to be another girl in the world, because there's so many other girls in the world. You were created for a purpose, just like everybody else. And the point is that the purpose, what you're supposed to fulfill in this world, is already in you. You're already born with it, right? Nobody can give it to you. Before I get to the point where we talk about choices, I'm trying to make sure that this video is definitely not too long today. So I'm going to split it into what is purpose and what purpose isn't. What is purpose? Now, every person born has a gift. You have a seed. You have a fruit, in other words. Everyone was created to be a fruit, which means that you were created with a seed inside of you. And when I simplify in regards to what is purpose, purpose is making sure that seed that you've been born with, you're able to grow it. You're able to take out the weed areas of that seed, and you're supposed to water it for it to grow. Because your purpose is dependent on your generation, because we as a people, we as a human race are all interwoven. What my purpose is going to benefit somebody out there. What your purpose is going to benefit me somewhere. So the main point of purpose is to better humankind, is to better humanity. Purpose is not so that we can make the few thousands, we could be on the gram and just show our vanity. Yes, as a form of marketing, we tend to do that, but that should not be our full intention. So I'm going to just say this simpler. What is purpose? Purpose is for you to grow your seed, the seed that the Creator has put inside of you. That is your purpose. Is it too simple? Because the way I see it in my mind, it is that simple. It is refining ourselves to the point where we can see that seed clearly. It is refining ourselves to be able to know and pinpoint what that seed is. It is refining ourselves and to dull down the noise so that we can actually think and see what that purpose is. Purpose isn't. Well, purpose doesn't always mean that it will generate wealth, because what you must understand, that the wealth of a purpose is to benefit another human. Is not to increase your dollars, is not to, give you more money in your bank account. Now, some purpose will generate wealth, but the importance that you need to understand that your purpose is not necessarily going to lead you to become a wealthy person or any of that. Because what I see today is that people tie purpose to wealth. And if you're not wealthy, and if you're not making the penny, and if you're not making the dollars, or maybe if you're not making the pounds, it means that your purpose is not strong enough. Your purpose is not there yet. If you're not on the gram and everybody knows your name and they know who you are, your purpose is not almost there yet. But that's a myth, because purpose has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with wealth. That is man-made. Your purpose is to benefit another human. Your purpose is to benefit a generation. That is what purpose is about. Purpose is not about popularity. It's not about who has the highest followers. It has nothing to do with that. Like I said earlier, purpose is defined by benefiting another human. Has nothing to do with popularity. Now, depending on our individual purpose, some people, in their way to fulfilling their purpose, could be the fact that they would reach a large number of people, while for some people, it would just be a small number of people. This is how magnificent the Creator is. This is how magnificent God is, because He looks at all of us and He thinks about the things that we need in our lives. And He has created a human to be able to support us to fulfill that purpose, to be able to fulfill that need. And so when we don't, we realize parts of the human race is limited. For example, some people have the most intellectual brain, and their purpose perhaps is to create a cure for cancer. That is their purpose. And so that person might just be someone who is day in, day out in a hospital, working flat out. Not a celebrity, not someone you see in the news. That is just their purpose. That is what they do. Perhaps a number of years later, when they're no longer here, then you hear that this person was the person who found the cure for cancer. Just like we find out with Leonardo da Vinci today. When he was around, not a lot of people thought he was a great artist. But now that he's gone, you can see his paintings all over the place. So sometimes when we wait for our purpose to be dictated by how popular we are, or how wealthy we are, or how many followers we are on the gram, we lose the essential of what purpose is. I know that there's a lot of religion out there, and I can only explain this from my perspective, but because my foundation is a foundation of being a Christ follower, I know that He had a purpose for me, and I had to lean on Him to be able to find that purpose. But whilst leaning on Him, I had to be quiet. I had to take time to understand exactly what that purpose was. I had to make sure that I wasn't fully concentrated on other people's purposes, on what other people were doing, and why mine had to be similar to them. I just had to wait to get the purpose that God had in mind for me. And so young girls out there, I want you to believe that you have a purpose. It's not saying that to believe it because it's a myth. It is an actual, factual, that you were created to be in this world for a reason. And the only way to find that reason is not necessarily to lean on other people or to go on, millions and thousands of seminars to be able to find that purpose, but really is to self-acknowledge your path, and to self-acknowledge who you are and the things that you do best and the things that bring that light and shine it to you. And also understanding the base and the Creator, that He's the one who's created you, and you have to lean into Jesus for Him to help you to find your purpose. I couldn't explain any other way. I know that there are people who tell you that you can find your purpose through this. I can only explain what I found and what has worked for me. And my purpose, finding my purpose, meant that I had to be still. I had to dull out the noise. I had to be secluded for some parts. I had to really ask myself, what is this purpose and why I want to fulfill this purpose? And to remember my feeling in the process of fulfilling this purpose. And so I hope that you have the chance as well to kind of sit still and think about and reflect that sometimes it might take a while, sometimes it could be instant. It really just depends, because we're different people. So some people could go on a course and decide after 6 months they found their purpose. Some people could be doing the same thing for another 6-7 years. But knowing that every step gets you closer to your purpose. But also, before I finish, I want you to also take note of the choices that we make, because choices will either make you closer to your purpose or drive you away from your purpose.